Welcome back to the Plus Money Podcast, your home for the best soccer bets in 15 minutes or less. We got a loaded weekend ahead of us in the Premier League, in the Bundesliga, in Serie A. I'm Andrew Passaro, and yes, maybe this is a guest appearance from Steve-O from Jackass because my voice is that shredded right now after a loaded midweek of Champions League, of Europa League. But we got a big show for you today. We got a both teams to score parlay, and you guys asked for one in the middle of the week. I was going to give one out for Champions League, but you guys asked for it. I gave it. It hit. So thank you guys for reaching out, for following on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok at @Passaro16, on TikTok at Andrew Passaro, and on the other platforms, and at the Plus Money Pod on Instagram, on Twitter, and on YouTube. I really appreciate you guys who are watching on YouTube or are subscribed on YouTube. I'm trying to hit that platform hard this year. Let's get into the games. I know that's what you're here for. We'll start with Nottingham Forest. They're taking on Brighton, and we don't need to oversimplify this one. We just gotta, why overcomplicate it? Nottingham Forest money line plus 145. They are 7-4-1 at home this season. Chris Wood score or assist plus 145. He's goals in 8 of those home games this season. He's plus 185 anytime goal scorer, but I'm going to take a little bit more insurance because who doesn't love a little bit more insurance except the U.S. government? But talking about Forest, 7-4-1 at home. Brighton 6-4-3 on the road. I'm not buying Brighton's somewhat uptick in form, and I'm more just bullish on Nottingham Forest at home. Very good team so far this season. I expect them to get points in this game as they march closer to a Champions League spot. And speaking of teams in Champions League, Bournemouth are taking on Liverpool in a massive top four clash, which is something I never thought I'd say out loud, but here we are. I still like Liverpool in over 2.5, and I like Liverpool in both teams to score. Over 2.5 is plus 115, and Liverpool in both teams to score is plus 170. I don't see a situation where Liverpool keep a clean sheet in this game. I think this Bournemouth offense is incredible right now, and you can get them 14 shots at plus 120. They've hit that 17 times this season. However, Liverpool have played something like 35 games. They've only given that up 3 times. I don't know if Bournemouth are going to be able to hit them that hard on the counter. I actually think this is one of those games that maybe you look at the other side of this and take Liverpool like 30 shots or more if you can get a good number, because I think they're going to have to shoot hard. This is a big game for Liverpool. It's, like I said, top four clash. I don't hate Bournemouth to score twice. They've hit that 13 of their 25 games. It's plus 154. They've done that in only 5 of their 12 games at home, but 6 of the last 10 in all comps. I want to talk about Justin Kluivert, the Dutch sensation who's sweeping the nation. One shot on target at minus 120 is one of my favorite bets of the entire weekend. He has done that in 8 straight games. 3 shots on target in one of those games. 3 or more shots in 6 of those games. You can get him 2 shots on target at plus 490. It's a really cheeky number. But if you're going to play that, you might also want to play on him to score twice, because I think that's the only way it happens. Score or assist at plus 200 is a great number. It's a really good number. He's had the ability to pop up into those half spaces and really frustrate this Liverpool team. 3 shots at plus 190. He did that in those last 8 games. He did the 3 shots in 6 of those 8 games. So I don't hate that either. Like I said, goals in 5 of those games, and a goal and assist in his last 2 games. Mo Salah, anytime goal scorer, plus 105. Guy's the leading gold boot winner. Anytime you're going to get him at a plus number, you got to consider taking it. Ipswich Town are taking on Southampton in a relegation 6-pointer. This is a huge match for Ipswich. They're minus 105 money line, and I kind of like them here. They have been absolute championship caliber team. I could curse and say worse things about Ipswich, but there's probably not a bigger insult about them than saying they're a championship caliber team. They were junior varsity at best against Liverpool and Manchester City, but this is a team where they're level. Ipswich to score twice, minus 115. I don't hate it. Newcastle Fulham, very fun game. Very fun game at 10 o'clock. Newcastle money lines minus 145. That moves a little bit. That moves to minus 140. It's a play for me, but Newcastle and over 2.5 at plus 125. I'm really thinking about it. But another one I love here, Anthony Gordon, score or assist plus 105. He's hit that in 9 of his last 10. Very quietly having another very, very good season for Newcastle. Massive player for their front line. We'll jump to Sunday in the Premier League. Obviously, you're here for Arsenal and Manchester City talk, but we'll get there in just a second because I fucking love Brentford money line plus 110 against Tottenham. I think it may have even moved up to plus 115 after that Tottenham win in Europa League today. But don't be scared about it, because Tottenham, they're playing all kids. And I know Brentford have had some injuries, but Brentford are a damn good team at home. They are tough to beat at home. And Tottenham give up goals and Brentford give up goals. The over 3.5, I didn't even look at it. It's probably crazy juice. I didn't need to lurk farther than Brentford money line at plus 115 or plus 110. Whatever you get it at, you take that. If it's a plus money, honestly, even down to minus 130, I think it's valuable because Tottenham just cannot get wins right now in the Premier League. And Brentford are a damn good team. They're a damn good team. All right. Huge one for me as Arsenal take on Manchester City. Obviously, you see the Liverpool background. You know I need Arsenal to drop points in this game. And I don't think City draw no bet at plus 160 is a bad bet. because I could see this very easily ending in a draw, and that's a push. But obviously, I want to give you guys winning bets. The number for Manchester City, I think it's plus 270 money line. I'm just going to play the draw no bet because this could end up in a draw. Um, Arsenal still missing key pieces. No Saka, other key guys out for them. I just don't think they have the quality to get a win against Manchester City right now. And I know Manchester City struggled against Brugge in the first half. Figured it out. A guy I'm on here, score or assist. This is a crazy number. Plus 200, Phil Foden. 5 of his last 7, he's done that. He's kind of trying to find that form that he was in last year where he was the best player in England and won the award for it. But another one that I don't hate is corners here because I know Arsenal are going to attack that. And I know Manchester City get a fair amount of corners, especially with the amount of saves you're going to get. Over 10.5 corners or plus 108 feels really good. It feels very good. It's hitting 6 of the last 10 for Arsenal, only 3 of the last 10 for City. But I don't know, man. This feels like an Erling Haaland revenge game, the whole stay humble thing. I'm not really looking forward to this game because I somehow wish both of these teams could lose. Obviously, I would prefer a City win, but even then, feels like, oh no, City are back and they're going to climb up the table. Let's get to Europe. Some bets that I like. We can start in Italy. There's 2 great games on Sunday. But I briefly want to say Diao shot on target for Como's plus 170. You can get Nico Paz shot on target at a good number. You can get him anytime goal scorer at a good number. You got to be careful with Como. It's not a play every week type of thing. I don't even know if I'm gonna officially like put it on like the side here on YouTube. I don't, or if it's this side. I don't know. Whatever. I don't even know if this is like an official pick. I'm just telling you that the number is available, and we haven't hit on that bet yet, but he was hitting it for a while there. Milan Inter, the Milan derby, massive game, massive game. Um, it's a home game for AC Milan, so their fans are going to be there. I'm just not buying what AC Milan have right now. And the last 2 times these teams have faced off, AC Milan have gotten the win, but Inter minus 110, team total of 1.5, minus 115. I'm just going to take them. I'm going to trust in Inter because they're the better team. My Inter to win the Champions League, ticket is still very live. I'm very annoyed that it has only dropped to 100 points in value. But I just believe this Inter team more. They've lost the last 2 times against their historic rivals. I don't see a situation where they lose this game. Last time we were talking about this game, we were talking about a team that could get beat so bad that there's a firing. Things are not good at AC Milan right now. If you can get Pulisic score or assist at like plus 125, you play it though because he's stepped up in a big way against this Inter Milan team. I'm now like literally as I'm saying it out loud, my lips to God's ears. I didn't have that on my card. I don't know what it's at. I could look it up. I literally have the ability to do that. I'm quite literally stalling for time while I do that. But if Pulisic starts, I this seems like a spot for him. Um, and I know the number's probably not going to be good on Lautaro, but this is also probably a great spot for him. Speaking of other goal scorers for the weekend, Retegui, I believe, is plus 105 to score anytime. Score or assist. I've got Christian Pulisic at plus 200. Yeah, we're taking that. If he's in the lineup on Sunday, we're taking him. Another game that I'm really excited about. It's a big derby in Southern Italy, Roma Napoli. I'm gonna give the same 3 bets that I gave out the last few weeks. One of them is a newer bet, but whatever. Napoli money line plus 125. They have 7 straight wins. Team total over 1.5 plus 126. They've scored 2 in 6 of those 7 games. They've scored 3 in a few of those games. Lukaku anytime goal scorer plus 150. He has a goal or an assist in 4 straight games. If AC Milan win against Inter this weekend, I'm putting in the Napoli ticket to win the title. They still have to play head to head, but I do expect Inter to go far in the Champions League. And Napoli are out of the cup. They have just Serie A to worry about. I don't know, man. Conte's cooking up something special down south. Couple games in Germany before we get to the both teams to score parlay. I believe they're both on Sunday. Frankfurt are taking on Wolfsburg. Frankfurt money line minus 125. They've been on good form, and I've watched Wolfsburg a few matches of late. They're not great. They're nothing special. I think Frankfurt take care of business. Careful about team totals and goals in that game. You can add over 1.5 to that to get it to plus 105. I don't hate that. But the guy we're here for. I know Marmouche is gone. But let's talk about a strike partner. Hugo Ekitike plus 105 anytime goal scorer. I'm gonna put out a shorts video on Monday talking about goal scorers that we're just gonna be betting week in, week out, a power ranking video. So be on the lookout for that. But Hugo Ekitike, man, I know he didn't score today in Europa League, but he has been scoring, and he's gonna get another move. He's gonna get a big move probably this summer. Um, yeah. So I love Hugo Ekitike, man. He's insane. Um, and then Leverkusen are taking on Hoffenheim. It's the other guy that I love betting. You guys know this. It's Florian Wirtz, anytime goal scorer plus 105. He's a goal in 5 out of his last 10. I'll take that. He's, in my opinion, the best player in Germany. I do think Leverkusen to win the league is probably cooked. They dropped points. Was it 2 weekends ago? Last weekend, I think it was last weekend to RB Leipzig. I know they still have to play Bayern. They'd have to beat Bayern. Bayern would have to also take another loss. I don't know if anybody's capable of doing that, but if you're a real sicko, the number is probably really good for Leverkusen to win a league title again this year. All right, we'll close things out. Both teams score parlay. It is 4 legs this week. You want to take one out? I'll tell you which one it is. But Liverpool, Bournemouth, Liverpool, it's 3 straight in 18 of their 35 games, but more importantly, 3 straight. They've been giving up goals, and Bournemouth, it's 15 of their 25 games this season. I really like that offense. Also on Saturday, it's Wolves and Villa, a little derby. Uh, Wolves, 17 of their 26 games and 21 of the 34 Villa games. Sneaky one. Crazy 4-2 shootout in the Champions League with Celtic they got to this weekend. Then Brentford Spurs. This is probably the one you could take out if you were looking for it. And I think it's like a minus 300, so it's really not adding much value to it. Brentford it's 20 of their 28 games, and Tottenham is 24 of their 37 games. I mean, it's ridiculous. Both shockingly, they didn't concede with a bunch of kids in Europa League today. Marseille are taking on Lyon in France. Big game for both teams. Marseille, it's 14 of their 21 games. Lyon, 17 of their 29. Like I said, it is plus 334. That'll wrap up our show. FA Cup next weekend. I'll have a show out. I probably won't bet in the FA Cup, but I will have a show out. We'll probably talk a lot of Bundesliga and Serie A, maybe a little La Liga if there's any matches worth talking about. It's just hard in that league when Barcelona and Real Madrid aren't playing Atletico or maybe Athletic Club. You're just not getting great numbers. Like I said, Rafinha is another guy that's a great anytime goal scorer, but when you get in the numbers. Until then, you can follow me at Andrew Passaro, and you can follow the pod at the Plus Money Pod, and we'll get you, bets whenever we got big games. I know we got a big midweek of cup games. I know Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool, Tottenham are all playing their second legs, and I think there's some semi Copa del Rey and Copa Italia, whatever. There's cups. We got games. I'm gonna go rest my voice and attempt to have it by next week's episode. Let's have a great weekend.